Welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Ashiksani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines for today. Propaganda campaign for the presidential election will be concluded midnight today and silent period will begin. Europe's most awarded compact SUV Volvo XC40 was officially launched in Sri Lanka. We will begin today's news with the latest developments of the looming presidential election from our Next President segment. The propaganda campaign for the upcoming presidential election will be concluded at midnight today and the final rallies of the presidential candidates concluded within the course of today. Meanwhile, addressing a media briefing held at the Government Information Department, the Chairman of Election Commission Mahinda Deshapriya warned social media users not to carry out any promotional activities via social media platforms during the silent period that commences at midnight today. The Election Commission warns any type of canvassing and campaigning activities for the presidential election during the silence period. Publishing election propaganda materials of presidential candidates either through printed or digital media has been banned starting from midnight tonight. Accordingly, the final rallies of the presidential candidates will be concluded within the course of today. The Election Commission said all posters, banners and cutouts of the impending presidential election will also be removed. Meanwhile, Election Commission Chairman noted that paid advertisements and sponsored advertisements pertaining to the presidential election cannot be posted in social media during the silent period. The Commission also highlighted that it would take legal action if it receives written evidence against such election law violations. Meanwhile, he also urged the tuition teachers to refrain from compelling or brainwashing students to vote for a particular presidential candidate since it is not ethical. Thus, Election Commission Chairman Mahinda Deshapriya also briefed about the special security plan imposed for the presidential election.
What are the special arrangements that you have made in terms of security on the day of election?
We have deployed each and every polling station 2 policemen with arms. And 5 or 6 polling stations are covered by police patrol mixed with the police and the STF and Civil Defence Force. And vulnerable areas, some areas, there are a special patrol by STF. And headquarters police stations, we have deployed police riot squad and the STF riot squad. And HUI police station, there are police platoons or 2 sections, but under the police supervision. And the police station, there we have stationed with our approval concurrence. The IGP has asked Army Commander to attack 1 section of Army. That means section is, I think, 1 corporal and 7 other rankers. So security wise, we are confident nothing will happen in election.
Non-Cabinet Minister of Digital Infrastructure and Information Technology Ajit P. Perera says that Minister Rajitha Senaratne should have complained to the police over the white van culture instead of bringing a self-identifying criminal accomplice before the media. Non-Cabinet Minister Perera made these remarks addressing the media briefing held in Colombo this morning.
Non-Cabinet Minister of Digital Infrastructure and Information Technology Ajit P. Perera says that police have a duty to arrest any person who says that he or she is supported in any form for a criminal offence. The non-cabinet minister also said that the Attorney General has powers to take legal action against such cases. Minister Ajit P. Perera made these remarks answering to a question by a journalist as to why Minister Rajitha Senaratne brought a so-called white van driver before media without taking legal action against him. Non-cabinet minister admitted the point and said that the country experienced such bad incidents during Rajapaksa era and Minister Rajitha Senaratne wanted to prove it before media. He also said that Minister Senaratne had no any requirement to make false statement before media and he will never do such a thing. He also added that then Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa is responsible for such incidents and Minister Senaratne's effort should not be taken as a mudslinging campaign.
Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that he had already answered to the question of dual citizenship at right places. Addressing a rally in Mathura this evening, he said that his opponent camp has still not given up their mudslinging campaign.
මම ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ පුරවැසියෙක්ද කියලා නැවතත් විරුද්ධවාදීන් උසාවියට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
My opponents have again gone before the court to question over my citizenship. I was born at Falatua in Mathura. The village Falatua is not situated in the USA. Then how can I be a citizen of America? Those are mere allegations. In my campaign, I didn't speak about my opponents. I spoke only about how to develop this country. But I see my opponents are in a mudslinging campaign, just realizing their defeat at the elections. We launched our plan on how to develop the country. That is a great vision for the country which prioritizes the national security.
Presidential candidate Professor Rajiva Vijayasinghe says that any second preference given to one of the main candidates will give a message that there are good policies and talented personnel which should be admired. Professor Vijayasinghe, who is contesting for the elections representing the movement to unite motherland, released a video message in social media requesting Sri Lankans to consider his policies which plan a system change in the country.
The way this system works is that the first preferences of all the candidates are counted initially, and then all the candidates except two are eliminated. The two candidates who have most first preferences go into a second round, and then the second preferences of all the other candidates which apply to one of those two are counted. So if you like one of the two main candidates, or if you dislike one of them less and would like that person to come on top as compared with the other, you can give them a second preference, having given me a first preference, and then that will count. Your vote won't be wasted, because all the other candidates, the minor candidates, once their first preferences are counted, are likely to be eliminated, and then their second preference come into play. And one reason I think it's important not to let any candidate win on first preferences is then they think that they have won the election entirely because of their party and their friends and their relations, and they will spend the next 5 years satisfying only those people and not think of the country as a whole. But if a substantial number of other candidates get first preferences and the two main candidates do not win on their first preferences, they will realize that there are a great many other people in the country whom they also need to think of for the future.
Europe's most awarded compact SUV Volvo XC40 was officially launched last Friday by Swedish Cars Private Limited at their state-of-art 3S facility in Colombo. The latest edition of SUV Volvo was unveiled last week by the IWS Holdings chairman Arthur Senanayake at Volvo's showroom in Colombo. The Volvo XC40 is a compact urban SUV brim with Scandinavian style and innovation. The XC40 boasts of class-leading safety with the European New Car Assessment Programme 5-star ratings. Furthermore, the Volvo XC40 is equipped with artificial intelligence-enabled technology which integrates driver assistance systems, entertainment and communication. It also has both 1.5-litre 163 horsepower turbocharged and 2-litre 247 horsepower all-wheel drive as X-Stock.
The XC40 is the recipient of the European Car Award. Now, people in the automobile industry know how prestigious of an award this is. The award's selected by a panel of, I think, 60 journalists across 23 European countries. And I mean, Volvo was launched or born in 1927, I believe, and they've never won it until they launched this car. So that would be fact number one. Fact number two is that Volvo, last year they sold about 600,000 cars. And on the trajectory that this model is on right now, they're going to do roughly between 150 and 200,000 XC40s. So from a percentage-wise, you can see just how important this vehicle is going to be for the Volvo brand. And we at Swedish Cars have been waiting for a long time to finally get this vehicle down and to to be able to retail it to the Sri Lankan market.
Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. President Maithripala Sirisena declared open the Wax Statue Museum of Polonnaruwa Ancient Technology Museum yesterday.
Polonnaruwa Ancient Technology Museum was vested with the public by President Sirisena in July this year as Sri Lanka's first such museum, built with the intention of enlightening the present generation on the ancient technical know-how and preserve the artifacts for future generation. Thus, the aforementioned Wax Statue Museum is a special attraction of this museum and depicts statues of all the leaders of Sri Lanka in the post-independent era. President Sirisena has taken measures to donate gifts and souvenirs which he received from various world leaders during tenure, and the gallery containing these items was also declared open yesterday. The land deed of the Polonnaruwa Ancient Technology Museum was handed over to the Director General of the Department of National Museum, Sanuja Kasturi Arachi, by the President.
State of Lanka Food Festival was held at the Independence Square in Colombo last Saturday and Sunday as organized by Y Entertainment.
Taste of Lanka Food Festival commenced at 11 a.m. and went on till 11 p.m. on both Saturday and Sunday. The food festival is a recurring event that takes place every month's end all throughout the weekend. Over 40 food stalls showcase their varied food items, providing a marvelous opportunity for food lovers in the town. The entrance-free event gathered a huge crowd for the event, and the DJ made the event a colorful one.
This is Taste of Sri Lanka, happening for the 7th consecutive month, and this is organized by Y Entertainment. As you can see, there's a lot of stalls, you can have your meals here, and there's lots of activities that you
Japanese Cultural Festival 2019, a beautiful harmony organized by the Embassy of Japan in Sri Lanka, was held last Saturday at the Colombo City Centre from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m.
This event was organized to commemorate the enthronement of His Majesty the Emperor and the dawning of a new Japanese era, Reiwa, translated to mean a beautiful harmony, which was also the main theme of this year's cultural event. A beautiful harmony was represented through 4 dimensions in this event: the pursuit of a way in Zen philosophy, blend of old and new, merge of human hearts, and finally the fusion of Sri Lanka and Japan. This cultural festival catered to people of all ages, and the senior visitors had the opportunity to observe ikebana and bonsai demonstrations and learn a few techniques and skills about the traditional arts, while the junior and adolescent visitors particularly enjoyed an array of martial arts performances, sway to the rhythm of J-pop music, and also relish in flying paper planes.
This distinct event commemorates the proclamation of the enthronement of His Majesty the Emperor, observed on the October 22nd of this year, the first year of Reiwa, which corresponds to the year 2019. This ceremony was taken place at the State Hall of the Imperial Palace. The dawning of this new era of Reiwa is the main theme of the cultural event. Reiwa implies a beautiful harmony, illustrating that the Japanese culture and traditions are the means by which people are connected together in unity in the most beautiful manner. We aim at creating such beautiful harmony in multiple dimensions. The first of which is to showcase the aspect of Zen philosophy in Japanese culture. The marked feature of this Zen philosophy demands the practice of complete calmness of the mind.
The central bank announces that the Attorney General had advised the Monetary Authority to limit access to the 5 forensic audits conducted by the bank only to relevant officials, as they may contain information that could be used as evidence in ongoing investigations and future legal action. The Attorney General has further informed that once the reports and related documents have been fully considered, any extracts thereof which can be disseminated in the public domain without prejudice to investigations and ongoing or future litigation will be notified to the central bank.
Central Bank in a release said that the Attorney General has opined that the access to the findings in the reports, annexes and exhibits should be limited to those who have statutory authority, while emphasizing that the recipients maintain confidentiality in respect to the contents of the reports in order to avoid any possible prejudicial effect on investigations and ongoing and future litigation. Forensic audits are being conducted under the recommendations of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry to investigate and inquire into and report on the issuance of treasury bonds during the period the 1st of February 2015 to the 31st of March 2016. Central Bank also said all 5 forensic audits have been completed and the final reports have been submitted to the Monetary Board by the auditors. Accordingly, the Monetary Board of the Central Bank has sought the opinion of the Attorney General about the distribution of the reports in public. In response to the inquiry, the Attorney General has informed that to limit the access to the 5 forensic audits at present and any extracts thereof which can be disseminated in the public domain without prejudice to investigations and ongoing or future litigation will be notified to the Central Bank once the reports and related documents have been fully considered.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all-share price index gained 34.8 points to close at 5,989.42 and the S&P SL 20 gained 15.43 points to close at 2,967.42. The turnover was 2 billion rupees and over 31 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all the news for today. Join us tomorrow at the same time. Until then, take care. Good night.